Yo, it's the Fight Block. We're back. It's been a while, so bear with me if I'm a little bit rusty, but we're back. It's a new year. Happy New Year. And looking to get this thing rolling again. Been insanely busy. So my apologies for not getting any videos up, but appreciate those who remain subscribed. And yeah, so big things to come in 2012. 2011, just recapping overall my thoughts on the MMA world. I think it was one of the best, if not the best year in terms of fights and just the growth of the sport. And I just look forward to what 2012 brings. And the new year gets kicked off with UFC 142. Live from Brazil, UFC Rio main event. Jose Aldo defends his bantamweight or featherweight. I'm rusty here. Featherweight title against undefeated Chad Mendes. Let's just get straight to the predictions. Starting off with the main card, Edson Barbosa takes on Terry Edom. Now this is a great matchup. We all have seen, or hopefully have seen, Edson Barbosa fight. He's a dangerous striker, vicious kicks. I've just been very impressed with him. Coming off a split decision win over Ross Pearson, who's no joke. And so Edson Barbosa looks to be legit. Terry Edom is also a scrapper, dangerous on the ground, and all around just a solid fighter. This is going to be a good fight. I see most of it taking place on the feet, and I'm going to have to give Barbosa the advantage. And I think Barbosa comes out and finishes Edom. I think he catches him. I'm going to say second round TKO, but should be a solid fight to kick off the card. Every bout on the main card, or I should say every bout on the card, has a Brazilian fighting in it. So a lot of Brazilian fighters representing their country. So should be a lot of passion and emotion. So I always enjoy when, especially Brazilians, they always show pride in their country and when they fight. So it should make for some good fights. Moving on to the next fight, Eric Silva takes on Carlo Prater. Not going to lie, I don't know much about Carlo Prater. And then aside from seeing Eric Silva knock out that guy in 40 seconds in his UFC debut, haven't seen much of Silva either. I hear good things of Silva, look to be legit, and so I'm just taking Silva to beat Prater. This is Prater's UFC debut. They're fighting in Brazil. And Prater's also Brazilian. I should take that back. So Silva, Prater, both Brazilian. But I'm just going to have to give Silva the win by, I'm going to say, TKO in the first round. I think it'll be another quick finish for Silva. Moving on to the next fight. Rousimar Palhares takes on Mike Masenziao. Aside from Palhares' brain freeze against Marquardt, he's been on a roll. Possibly one of the most vicious and dangerous submission fighters in the UFC. When this guy walks on a submission hold, it's tough to get out, and he's just vicious in terms of the pressure he applies, and he goes for broke. He's not going to give you any opportunity to escape. He locks it in, and he squeezes, and he's dangerous. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't get caught in a submission by Palhares, or bad things will happen. Mike Masenziao, don't know much about him. He's fought a couple fights in the UFC. Looks like he's mostly gone to a decision. Doesn't look all that dangerous. Palhares, he's a finisher. I'm going to take Palhares to win this one by decision. He'll find a way to get this fight to the ground and catch Masenziao in a submission. I'll say second round submission for Rousimar Palhares. Moving on to the co-main event. This is an awesome matchup. For some reason, I thought Wanderlei Silva was fighting Vitor Belfort because of the whole Ultimate Fighter thing. I don't know if that's happening or what, but I was surprised when I looked at the card and saw Belfort's in the co-main event. But I know Belfort's probably pretty stoked about fighting in Brazil. I know he really wanted to be on the last card. I don't believe he was. Maybe he was. Was that Silva Belfort in the main event, the last UFC Rio? I can't remember. Anyways, I know Belfort is probably stoked about fighting in Brazil and taking on Anthony Rumble Johnson, who's been on a roll. Johnson coming off that first round knockout over Charlie Brenneman. Vitor Belfort coming off of that first round knockout over Sexy Yama. And both were highlight reel knockouts. And Belfort, before that fight, lost his title opportunity to Anderson Silva. Really a poor performance, got knocked out, and bounced back and showed that he still has the hands, the quickness, and but I mean, Anthony Johnson, I mean, this guy's no joke. He's a big, what is this fight? Because Anthony Johnson, he's a big middleweight, sorry. And, I mean, so is Belfort. Belfort has also fought in the light heavyweight division before. But anyways, Anthony Johnson, he's a big boy and dangerous kickboxer. And he's got a wrestling background, so he can really control this fight. He can take it to the ground if he feels in danger, or he can keep this fight standing, which I see most of this fight taking place on the feet. Both guys dangerous strikers. It's really a matter of who catches who. I'd say Johnson definitely has the better chin. He hasn't really been finished in the UFC, I don't believe. Hasn't really been knocked out or anything. Belfort, on the other hand, chin has been susceptible to some shots. We saw that in the Anderson Silva fight. Took that kick to the face. Now that I'm remembering it, that wasn't UFC Brazil, so I know Belfort's stoked to fight on the card. And but anyways, I'm just gonna have to go with Rumble Johnson in this fight. I've been very impressed by Johnson lately, and I just think overall with his kicks and his hands, he's a little bit more. I mean, he can mix it up. I'm gonna say, because I was gonna say he's a little bit more dangerous, but Belfort's pretty damn dangerous. So I mean, Belfort, can't count him out. We all know what he can do and how fast he can finish fights. But my pick, Anthony Rumble Johnson, I'll say wins by TKO in the third round. I'll say this fight goes a little bit more into the fight, and I think Belfort could possibly gas a little bit should the fight go to the later rounds, giving Johnson the advantage. So taking Rumble Johnson by TKO in the third round. Moving on to the main event, Jose Aldo puts his featherweight title on the line against undefeated Chad Mendes. Jose Aldo, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. He's had some solid performances in the UFC. Hasn't really had that highlight reel knockout or finish yet in the UFC. He's coming off of victories over Mark Hominick, where he looked good, but towards the later rounds sort of gave Hominick the fight. Ended up winning a unanimous decision, and then in his last fight took on Kenny Florian. Florian put up a decent fight, but Jose Aldo once again pulls off a decision. I mean, Jose Aldo, dangerous striker, solid jiu-jitsu on the ground, dangerous on the ground. Chad Mendes, what he's going to want to do in this fight, he's going to want to use his wrestling background, take Aldo down and put him on his back. Now, we saw in the Mark Hominick fight, when Hominick put Aldo on his back, there wasn't much Aldo was doing. I mean, Aldo looked like he was gassed and tired, but it looked like if you put Aldo on his back, that's where you want to. That's where you have a chance to beat him. So Mendes, I mean, you stand and trade with Aldo. Good luck. Aldo, just dangerous, vicious leg kicks, and just a vicious, dangerous striker overall. So Aldo definitely has a striking advantage. Mendes, like I said, has got the wrestling background. He's going to try and put Aldo on his back. But Aldo did show pretty good takedown defense against Kenny Florian. Not that Florian has the greatest takedown offense, but there were some takedown attempts by Florian where Aldo did a solid job of keeping the fight standing. So I don't think it's going to be easy to take Aldo down. I know Mendes is undefeated. He's a scrapper. But he just lacks the finishing power and the finishing submissions. He's won his last 3-4 fights by decision. So, I think Aldo's going to come out. He's going to want to win this for Brazil, and I think he catches Mendes and finishes him by TKO. I'm going to say in the third round. A lot of good fights on this card. Those are my quick predictions. It's good to be back. Stay tuned. It's a new year, and I'm going to get this thing rolling again. I got some new ideas, and look to keep things rolling. So subscribe, hit up the Twitter. It's fight_block, And then also check out the blog at www.fightblock.blogspot.com. I'll put the links in the description box. Enjoy the fights, and there's a lot coming up, so I'll be back soon. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. There we go. Peace.